If you're looking for useful, fun, fast, or just plain impressive 3D prints, then this video is for you. I've just taken every single 3D print that I've used since the start of this channel, organized them into categories, and put them all into this video. And if you've seen some of these before, don't worry, there are some new ones that have never been shown as well. So let's start off with the useful prints. This tiny 1.5 hour print will actually trap any flies and mosquitoes or any other insects in here so that you don't have to worry about them buzzing around all over the place. All you need to do is add something nice and sweet in the bottom of here. The lid lifts off, add some water with sugar, maybe a bit of vinegar in there as well to kill them, and then on goes the lid. The flies will go inside the hole and they won't be able to get out. Then you just need to empty this out, give it a little rinse, and it's ready to go again. Of course, you could go and buy disposable fly traps from the supermarkets, or you could print one in 1.5 hours. I know what I'm doing. Next up is a print that takes minutes and uses barely any PLA whatsoever, but I promise you it has value. This is a trolley token that works in the UK, probably across the whole of the EU as well. And well, you need these to release the trolleys when you go to the supermarket. And I always either spend the £1 coin that I'm meant to be saving for it, or I'll just lose the trolley token all the time. So I printed loads because now I can just leave them in the car and I will never not have enough. Moving on, we have this right here, this tiny little print. Again, barely any time to actually do this, and it has a little O-ring on there which I printed in TPU to be able to make this thing watertight. This is a pretty damn useful thing for anybody who does anything like camping or fishing or anything where you may want to keep something dry, like matches possibly. So you can screw the lid on the top here, and because it has the TPU seal, you can make it nice and tight, and now it is completely watertight. Now obviously you could scale this up and make it way bigger, but for me this is absolutely fine. Keeps the print time nice and small too, and also there's a space on the top where you can attach it to like a carabiner or a bit of string, whatever you want to attach it to. Absolutely awesome. Now, I'm not saying this one will always work, but it's definitely something that you could print and pop in your window just to deter anyone who has a little bit of common sense, I suppose. This is definitely something you can print super fast, pop it in your window, and you never know. Maybe someone who was considering breaking in and taking all of your stuff now may actually change their mind. And I'm not saying that you also have to have cameras. You can put this and it be completely false. But also keep in mind, you could make something just like this for things like beware of the dog, beware of the cat if you really wanted to, and whatever else you wanted to do. But this is actually useful. You could print this for very little cost, pop it in your window, and if it saves you once, then I'd say it was worth the price. And just a quick reminder that if you haven't already subbed to the channel, it is growing super fast and I appreciate it so much. So please do click the sub button, it will help out a ton. And also, if you want to see all the times I dropped that and all the other fails, then consider becoming a channel member because there's all the bloopers as well. Number 5 probably should have came after number 1 because it is a good old fly swatter. Now I've actually never had one of these or used one of these, but I've always wanted to buy them. I just never have. Now I can just make my own, and the design of this is great because the fact that everything is completely like with holes and stuff, it just moves super fast. I mean, let's be honest, there's not really much more to talk about with this. It's a fly swatter and you can 3D print it. No longer do you need to be looking for like a random towel or like magazine or anything like that to kill the bug that is driving you insane. Get one of these printed and just put it wherever it needs to go. Moving on, we have a couple of whistles. I'm going to put these together, but the red one and the blue one do completely different things. First of all, the red one is an alert whistle. This is something you're going to want to have if you go out camping or backpacking or hiking or anything that puts you in a place where you may want to alert anybody that you're in trouble, or if anyone else is in trouble. This is insanely loud. In fact, it's probably the loudest whistle I've ever used, and it's 3D printed. You don't need any extra pieces, just fully 3D printed, no sports or anything like that, and a super short print time. But definitely something you're going to want to have with you in those sort of situations. However, the blue whistle is a 21,000 kilohertz whistle. It's a dog whistle. We're not going to be able to hear this. You're not going to be able to hear this, but the dogs and the other pets definitely will. Super useful for any pet owner. I'm sure plenty of dog owners do have them, but yeah, you can 3D print them super fast. But if I can't hear it, how do I know that it actually works? Keep an eye on the end of the audio on this side. It definitely worked. Yeah, bad idea. Moving on, we have this, and we're going to need a drill. This quick to print tool here is super useful and is going to save you a lot of mess because you're going to be able to drill whatever you need to through the wall. Dust and cement and stuff will all get collected in the bottom here. The amount of times that I've thought, oh, I'll just quickly put up this one thing and then You drill the hole through and there's dust everywhere. Then you got to get the vacuum, you got to clean that up as well. Might as well use this and save yourself the time of cleaning up every time you use your drill. This one's simple but super useful. A good old-fashioned door wedge. I use mine a hell of a lot. As you can see, I kick this under the door from the hallway into the kitchen to keep the kids out when I don't want them in there because I'm not in there. Now, while there's not a lot to talk about with this, when you do print one, make sure you put the infill a little bit more than you would normally for a print, just to make sure it stays nice and strong. You don't want this thing to just crush under your door whenever you move it. But super useful. I mean, go anywhere that has like heavy doors and that sort of stuff. Door wedges will be around every single door. Print super fast and something that I use every single day. Now, you can guess what this is for. I'll be very surprised, but let me know in the comments if you got it right. It is a cable organizer. Now this one I'm using specifically for my earphones, but you can print all different sizes and whatever you need of these to wrap any cables around that possibly could get tangled up. Like, everybody knows that earphones get tangled up like absolute crazy in your pocket, but with this, you can pop it in your pocket and you know that when you get it out, all you have to do is pull out one of these and unwrap it around and you're good to go. And if you let these get tangled up in your pocket, you'll spend longer untangling it than printing this actual thing. Moving on, we have this hand strengthening grip. I'm just kidding. This wouldn't really do anything. This is a bottle opener that allows you to pop it over the top of bottle caps and gives you a little bit of extra leverage to open up the tight, like frustrating ones that you can't quite get. And when you slide your hand across it, it can get your hands a little bit. But also anyone with arthritis or carpal tunnel, anything that is going to be a little bit of a problem for opening up tops of tight bottle caps, this is super useful. My best example would probably have to be fruit shoe bottles. Now, we quite often use these for crafts and stuff with the kids, so taking the tops off is something that we have to do, and they're super tight. We used to use a pair of scissors that had like a grip for walnuts on the inside, but for anybody who does have something that makes opening bottle caps and stuff super difficult, it's a pretty useful tool to have for the time it takes. Now, I'll really be impressed if you can guess what this one is. There's no way. Even I wouldn't guess what this one is if you showed me this. It's a sponge holder, but for a Scrub Daddy sponge that sits on the side of your sink. It can drip off and everything. I actually really am glad that I found this, because this is one I will be using. I never had this until today, and this is going to be a good one. The missus will like this too, because there's nothing worse than finding your sponge at the bottom of a sink full of dishes, and you've got to get it out. It's all, no, you don't want to have to look for it at the bottom of the sink. This now has a home. Look at it. It just sits on there beautifully. I mean, my sponge has seen better days. I need a new one. And it looks all happy and stuff. And I'm happy with it. It's really cool. I like it a lot. And you can put like your plug on here if you want to, or whatever you want to put on there. And overall, it's just a super fast, easy print that actually will make a difference. Like, I will 100% use this. This will stay there always now. And it gives the sponge a home that is not right at the bottom of everything in the sink. Every kitchen needs these, and every kitchen needs these, and if you don't have any, you're gonna want to get some, so please give it a go, because I guarantee you won't regret it. These are little clips that help you seal or secure anything that are in packets or bags or freezer bags, anything like that. With a little click, you're going to be able to secure that bag tight, and these ones are actually freaking awesome. These are the best ones I've found online. There's a lot of these available, but this one is super strong and secure and nice and tight, and they print 3 at the same time, all in different sizes, and they come out beautifully. Honestly, absolutely perfect. Now, I'd recommend printing them in blue, because you are going to be putting them like around food products, like in the fridge maybe, or in the freezer, in the cupboards, that sort of thing. So if anything does ever break off, having it in blue is definitely a good decision. But I almost guarantee that if you haven't got any of these, print some, because you will definitely use them. Then we have a keyring bottle opener. This prints stupidly fast, and to be able to pop it on your keyring, or I'm just going to throw it in my actual kitchen drawer to be able to open bottles whenever I need it. I don't have a bottle opener, so the fact that I've been able to print this and just chuck it in my drawer, super useful. So I just finished 3D printing these tiny little clips here, and these are actually cable tidies or charger holders or whatever you want to call them, to be able to keep things where they need to be. For the longest time, I have had this cable here plugged into this USB port just dangling on the floor, and I must admit, I lose this wire all the time. But now with these, I can have it so it doesn't just dangle around anymore and get lost all the time. The amount of times that I'm crawling around the floor looking for this thing, and the fact that it took this video to be able to actually have me solve the issue, I mean, it's about time. This takes such a small amount of time to print. I've done a few of them because they will be super useful. A little bit of double-sided sticky tape to the desk, and now the cable will always be where it's meant to be. And this is a vise that I 3D printed. This is a broken one because I assembled it wrong, so that's going to go in the bin. But having a vise is super useful when you do crafts and this sort of thing. This is a small one that you can pop on your desk, whether you want to glue it down somewhere or screw it on or anything, or whether you just use it as it is, it's completely up to you. Now, this printed in quite a few different parts, and yes, I did mess up the initial build of it, but it really, when you understand like what you're looking at and you follow the like 3-step instructions, which will be linked in the description, of course, it's really easy to follow and it works really well. Moving on is something that I printed for she's gonna kill me for this one. This is requested by her. Actually, I sent it to her first. It's a floor scrubber or like scourer or whatever you want to call it. Basically, you can use this to, like, when you're cleaning the carpet for any stains, especially like I've got 2 kids, they're both young, they spill stuff all the time, juice, like milk, chocolate milk, all whatever you can imagine. You just tip your carpet cleaning solution over the mess or whatever it is that you're cleaning up, and then on your knees you get, it's time to scrub. And actually this gets in there nice and deep, it scrubs it out really clean, and it is definitely a tool worth having in your cleaning drawer. But all jokes aside, I actually did show this to the missus and she said, yep, definitely print one of these. So I guess you could take a risk and print one for your missus too. That being said though, this is like a 2-in-1 because I also printed this, which is actually really useful. This little tool allows you to open up any sort of cans with, you know, the metal rings and stuff, nice and easy with no effort whatsoever. You slip this onto the actual ring and then pop it upwards and off you go. Now you may think, well, what use does this have? Well, if your missus does have any nails on or anything like that, or maybe you've got like long nails, or maybe you're just getting a bit older and you lack that finger strength that you used to have. This is definitely a tool that you could pop in your drawer, and there you go, you just had your nails done or something, you can pop this on, open it up, and off you go. Now moving on is something that I've needed for the longest time. I've seen these so often and they're such a good idea. This is a pegboard that allows you to put in whatever you want into all the different spaces, and you can 3D print like all of this. You can 3D print the board, you can 3D print the accessories. Like this one, for example, you can hang your pliers on, and so they're out of the way. And I've just stripped and gutted all of this stuff inside of my office, and I now need to find a place to keep all of my tools. What my plan is to rip off the bottom layer of foam here and have these all the way across, all the way down, and just fill them with all the tools and things like paintbrushes and all that sort of little bits that normally sit on my desk, and have them on the wall. I also 3D printed spaces on the back too, so once it's mounted it'll have plenty of space for all the different pegs. And there are thousands, and I mean thousands, of actual accessories that you can get to pop on here. So I'm going to be spoiled for choice, but also you can absolutely design your own. So if I do design any, which I'm sure I will, they'll all be available for free over on the Patreon on that free STL file list that you can get your hands on. If you guys haven't seen that, link in the description. It's completely free and you can get access to any files that I make or pay for that I'm still able to share as well. Moving on, we have this here. What is this? A TV antenna? No, it holds your phone. This here is a phone holder that'll hold any phone because of the way that the spring on the back works. I'm actually really impressed with it as well. You just pop it around your phone, holds it with my case and everything, and boom. You can now attach this to whether you want to put it on a shelf like I'm going to be doing every now and again, or if you're washing the dishes and you want to watch your phone, or you're cooking dinner and you don't want to be looking down at your like the worktop counter all the time, or whatever, wherever you want to put this. You can just attach this on by hooking it on like this, and boom, nice and easy. You can now watch anything at eye level. It's such a cool idea. I love this. However, it has a couple of things you should know about. This here will tighten up so that it stays on your shelf nicely. And then this bit here on the side allows you to loosen or tighten this bit, which is actually a ball joint. So you can have this like dangling around, you can change the angle, you can even fold it up to put it away, whatever you want to do. But once you've got it in the position that you want it in, you can then just tighten this up, and that way it'll stay in whatever angle you want it to hold your phone at. I'm impressed with this. It's something very, very simple, but actually really genius. Assembling it was nice and easy. Printing it was super fast. This design here, though, is what blows me away the most. I never thought of doing something like this. I'm going to take this and put it in like my back pocket and save this for future designs. This is very, very clever. So I'm sure I can make use out of this sort of thing in the future. Phone holder, catch. Why do I do these transitions, man? What the frick? That was not worth it. This one is insanely fast. Now I've included this because I actually need to use it. This is a drain cleaner that unclogs all the hair and stuff from your actual drains in the bath. This will allow you to pop it down in there and drag out any sort of hair or unclog your drain, the dirty grimy stuff that you don't necessarily want to talk about, but you can 3D print the solution to it very quickly. This takes minutes to print. Obviously it's very small, super flexible because of how it's printed. This is just in PLA as well, and honestly, if you do have a drain that doesn't flow as good as it used to, then definitely consider giving this a print and a try, because a lot of the time it will fix your problem. But for something that prints so fast, it is definitely useful to know about. I was gonna buy one, but this is a lot cheaper. So another one of my favorite prints that I've done is actually all of my painting stuff. As you can see here, this is insanely useful, saves me a lot of money, but also just super convenient. Now, while this isn't just one specific thing, being able to 3D print all of the things that I've needed for the painting as well, because I had none of it when I started this at all, it's been super useful. We got paintbrush holders, we got paintbrush like tiny palette with little water cup as well for mixing them, and I've also just 3D printed a ton of paint mixing cups that I'll be using to thin the paint to then put inside my airbrush. So next on the to-do list was these drawers, and these drawers are an absolute disaster. Look at them, there's just stuff thrown all in them, but it's stuff that I have to hold on to because it's LED lights and it's other sort of lighting stuff. With this sort of hobby, I'm going to need it in the future, but with the space that I do have available, I can't get any bigger drawers than these. Luckily, they are rather deep, meaning I can actually separate the different heights of these by designing some dividers. So I started 3D modeling and ended up with a design like this. I have a box on the bottom with dividers for certain things like lights and batteries and that sort of stuff. And then there's a lid that goes on top but still acts as storage for things like my soldering iron and glue gun and this sort of stuff. I left a space on the side of one of the drawers so I could put LED light strips down there, still in their packaging. And then there's a bit at the back for all the extra stuff that I collect, and is definitely still worth holding on to because it is going to be stuff I will use at some point, right? And then in the bottom, I separated this up by just adding 3 different pots that have, again, a layer on top and on the bottom to allow me to use that depth of the drawer to be able to organize things like my paints and things that I use on my Etsy quite often, like corks and these little Pokemon figures that I just throw in with packages, and just many other things as well. This keeps it nice and organized. This is pretty much what this drawer was in the first place. All electronics are on the top, all paints and crafts are on the bottom, but now I can open the drawer and easily see what I've got. And if I'm running out of something, I don't find out on the day that I need it, because that definitely doesn't happen ever, right? But from something so simple, the improvements to the actual use of these drawers now is huge, and it now doesn't give me a headache every time I open it. But the question is, how long are these drawers going to stay like this? Leave a comment down below. Super fast one is going to be, I need to deal with this massive ass microphone cable wire. What cable wire? You know what I mean, that I have. Now, a very quick way to do this, all I need to do really is find a zip tie. We have here a 10-minute one. There we go. So let's just download and open this. Now, this is the first time I've ever printed a zip tie, so we'll see if it works. Like, initially, I just thought, nah, it would just snap, right? But I guess we'll find out. Probably the smallest 3D print I've ever done in my entire life, maybe. But wait a second. This is gonna work. So the zip tie works, apparently. I don't know why I didn't think it would. I thought maybe it'd be too fragile, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, too fragile, just snap, right? But no. So all I needed to do was wrap the cable around, zip tie it off, snip the end off, and it's done. Zip ties. What a genius thing to 3D print. I 3D printed, and I promise you that was the first time I recorded that take. But I 3D printed my own non-soft closing one because I wanted this side-by-side desk storage drawer system. I don't know why just a drawer. I just want 2 drawers side by side. I don't know what all these complex words are, but this was super convenient. And the fact that it's like hex at the bottom saves a bit of filament too. And all it is these 2 rails and the drawer. This drawer's done now and it does work, and it is actually going to be great. And while it could possibly use a little bit of an edit to make it open a little bit more smoothly, it's beautiful and it's great, and it will be linked in the description. Right now I've only got a couple of things in there, but I'm sure that over time these will fill up super fast, and anything that's going to go on my desk, I'll now just go, no, put it in here instead. We don't only need useful things, we need cool things as well. This here is probably my favorite thing that I've printed like ever altogether. It's so freaking cool. I found this online and I made a couple of edits to make it so that I can fit the actual regular like plug socket lamp through it, and then with a flame bulb it just comes to life. It looks so damn good. If I can, I will put the files for those online for you guys to get as well, but again, I don't own this, so you can't like make it to sell or anything. It's just something that I found and then edited to make work for me. However, these is something that I did make from scratch myself, and it is something inspired by the game RuneScape. It is a potion lamp from there. Obviously it's flickering at the moment, but you can change all the colors to fit whatever sort of potion that you want, as they have like solid colors of blue, green, red, purple, whatever, right? So it works out really cool. And then there's a little label on there. Adding all these little things just makes it look so much better. A real cork on top and stuff just brings these sort of things to life. But these are my two favorites of all time, probably, that I've ever made. So I definitely wanted to mention them again. This is a Toothless the Dragon flexi print. Now, I love flexi prints. I think they're really cool. But that's not just the only thing we're talking about here. I want to talk about specifically making things like collectibles. And I mean, as you can see, right? Like, come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It is so useful to have a 3D printer if you collect things like this, like Pokemon and stuff like that. And also, if you have kids that like anything along this sort of lines, this was fully 3D printed. It took me, I want to say 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours, but I put it on before I went to bed, woke up in the morning, took it off the print bed. Surprise, my son is now absolutely buzzing and smiling and beaming throughout the entire day, because the Toothless the Dragon toy that he saw in the shop the other day that he didn't have enough pocket money saved up for is now just, he can just have it. He can just have, well, it's not the exact same one, right? And he might get that one yet, but it's not just him. I'm also very much into Pokemon and other things like this. There are so many very cool things you can make that are already online, and if you don't have any modeling skills yourself, you can still print these things and add them to like your office space or your collectibles space or whatever, and it's so damn easy. If you are interested, I do have a Pokemon Focus channel, it'll be in the description. But because this is meant to be my favorite 3D prints of all time, this guy, because of how happy it made my son in the morning, it's definitely up there with one of them. All right, so this is really cool, but I feel like I'm going to regret this because of how many parts this actually has. Like, look at this. I mean, look, it says easy to assemble in the description, but I don't know. I messed up the vice. We're going to give this a go, though. This is a spring car. It has a wind-up mechanism, but all the pieces are 3D printed. No glue, no hardware, no tools, because you 3D print the tool that you actually need. And then apparently, I don't see how, but I really want to find out. I hope I don't regret this. Let's print this off and find out. So when I started building this, I assumed it was going to be really difficult to actually do, but the instructions that I've provided are actually insanely like accurate and easy to follow, and it really is easy to assemble. It just all clicks together nicely. You barely even have to use the spanner or anything like that. It just all tightens up really nice. Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I expected, but does it actually work? Well, this thing is crazy. I can't believe how good this thing turned out, man. What the hell? This is such a cool design, and I'm actually really impressed with like how it actually works. So I thought it was going to be a, you know, pull back and release sort of thing, but it's not. You just wind this to tighten the spring like that, and now it's like, that's like fully done, and now it'll fly across whatever. Now, I didn't actually have any TPU to print the wheels, unfortunately, but it works great without them. With them, this thing would go absolutely crazy. I don't know, man. I'm so impressed with this whole thing. It's such a fun little toy. Now, it's currently 12:30 at night while I'm finishing this video, so my kids haven't played with this yet, but this is going to be an absolute hit. I know it. So I love this. Holy crap to the designer. Well done. Let's move on to the next thing. This took what, like 20 minutes to print, if that. It's a boomerang, but when I saw this, I just thought to myself, there's no way. There's no way that I can just 3D print a boomerang and it's actually gonna work, right? So let's go outside and test it out, because I have to know. Super easy to print. If you can print things like a boomerang, you could easily do like a frisbee, I suppose. I'm gonna 3D print a frisbee tonight, and I'm gonna take the kids to the park tomorrow, and I'm gonna test them both out. Let's do it. So, in true English fashion, the weather just doesn't permit for this today, unfortunately. Now, I do want to test these out, so keep an eye out for a YouTube short where I'll post that. But that doesn't change the fact that, you know what, these are actually still a really cool idea. You can 3D print all sorts of outdoor stuff. I'll put like over this side somewhere for you guys to see like a full list of outdoor toys and things that are really quick and easy to print that you can take out with the kids. If you don't have anything like laying around, you can just 3D print this sort of stuff at like a moment's notice, like the same day, take like an hour maybe. You can just go out and you can play with this stuff for ages. So to me, these are actually a really, really cool idea. Just having kids myself, like, right, like, to me, this brings it like really high up in the list because it's something that I can actually do and take out and do with them. This is a phone case for my Samsung S23 Ultra, but it has a GoPro mount on the bottom there, so I can attach this to the actual like tripod that I got for my GoPro, because the camera in my phone is also insanely good, and I use this a lot to make videos like this for all the B-roll and that sort of thing. This was super fast to print, and it allows me to take my phone, pop it in there, and now I have a ready to go tripod from any angles and improve the quality of these videos. And it has a thing on the side here if I ever want to use it to record shorts, and it's just something that I use every single day when making these videos. Now, I'll be honest, there's one thing that I do wish I changed about this, and I'm definitely going to do so, and that is making it fit the actual phone case that this thing has. I have to take it out of my case to pop it in here, which could lead to a few scratches, so the next thing that I need to do is just resize it and allow it to take the phone case as well, keeping it nice and safe, but also still being such a good functional tool. This may be my favorite thing of the whole video already, but we'll see. This is a 3D printed birdhouse, and once you've got the two pieces, slot them together, you are left with this absolute awesome design. That is genius, actually, and the reason that it's genius is you can put some suction cups on the back here, and then they can connect to your window on the outside. Suck this to your window, and then when the bird comes along, you can actually see it sitting on here through this hole through the window. You could just get one to put in a tree and then look out, but this way they'll be so close and you can see them directly through. The only edit that I would maybe make to this is adding a separator on the inside so you can have something for water and for actual bird seed or bread or whatever you want to use. But overall, this is actually genius. It's got a little roof as well. And I think personally, the beige PLA just pulls it all together. Now here's something that I should have printed probably years ago, and I've constantly thought about doing it, but for some reason, I never got around to doing it. This is literally just a poop chute. A lot of you guys probably have these already, but I didn't have any yet, and I've just had the plastic all over my office floor, and it's not ideal. These don't take that long to print, and to be honest, I think a big reason why I haven't printed one in the past is because they do seem to take a little bit of while to actually print, and I just kind of thought, what's the point? But this one's really awesome. This will screw onto the back of your printer and then slot into here, and then you can just lift it up and remove it to empty it whenever you need to. So to me, this one's absolutely perfect. It's really like compact and small, which may not be ideal for a lot of people, but for me, I'll empty this regular, just lift it off, and I don't want it to take up too much space down around the printer. So I've printed 2 of these now, and it is about time that both of my printers do get one, because yeah, it could make an absolute mess if you don't have one. Now you'll get extra points if you can figure out what this is, because I guarantee you don't get it until I tell you. This is a self-locking round coat hanger. I had to use the exact name because I forgot what this was called a million times. But this prints all in one go. Even the ball on the inside is printed in place, which is crazy. And all you need to do is attach the bracket to the wall, slot this over the top, then you can very easily put in a robe or a t-shirt or a jacket or a coat or towel, whatever you want to use in here. The ball will keep it in place, and you can actually print different sizes of the balls to allow for a tighter fit or a looser fit, depending on what you're wanting to hold in there. If you want like a nice heavy thick coat, maybe you'll need the one with more space, or if you just want something like a t-shirt, then maybe you'll need one that's a little bit tighter. But this is super convenient, and I'm gonna wood stain this and pop it on the back of my office door so that I have a place to actually put my jackets and coats rather than on the back of my chair. This is one that blew me away when I got started with this, and I had no idea that this was like how far 3D printing has come. Lithopane light boxes are insane, but not because you can just put any random thing in a lithopane. You can take a photo in real life, and then you can put that into a lithopane and create a light box just like the one you're seeing here and give that as a gift to someone. I have done this many times for like Mother's Day and that sort of thing. These are great. You can take meaningful photos and you can convert them into lithopanes by using like an online tool, and then you can 3D print them out. And I swear to God, these are the most impressive, surprising, mind-blowing thing to me, because by the time you put a good amount of backlighting into it, these look incredible. You can have them like USB desk lamps, and it's just a full photograph in black and white, of course, of whatever that you actually want to display here. But it looks so good, and everybody that I've made these for as like a gift for like Mother's Day, like I say, or like a birthday gift or anything, just like a little extra, because they're so cheap to make as well. You just throw it in as an extra gift. These are the things that people are like, oh, this is the main gift, right? And it's like, no, this was just an extra that I thought of when I found out that lithopanes could do this. So I'll link in the description a lithopane like image converter. You literally take a photo or any image that you want, pop it into a lithopane generator, and it will create that for you. Then you just 3D print that and add like any sort of light box in the background. Just make one in something like Tinkercad and then add that onto there. LED strips, and you are good to go. These things look incredible, and the fact that you can just make any photograph into this, you can make such meaningful gifts. And like I say, this genuinely did blow me away. The fact that we can take photos and 3D print that photo and add a light box from it is crazy to me. I love this, and I hope I find more things like this for 3D printing as I improve my skills with it too. Now, don't go thinking I haven't saved the best till last. And yes, I have had an outfit change. These videos take a long time to make, but this here is the rest of the PVC pipe that I had, and I didn't want it to go to waste. I've come up with a really genius idea that you're definitely going to want to print. So I decided to design some caps for the end of this pipe that just pop off the end and have a really nice and tight fit, but are really easy to remove. And then on the end of this, there is some screw holes that are going to allow me to mount this underneath my desk. Now, the awesome part is that I also spent some time designing some things that can just slide along the pole here, and then whatever you want to mount on here can be mounted underneath your desk really easily. And because the ends just pop off, you can change this whenever you want to and add and remove things that you no longer need. Now, in case you guys are interested in printing one of these, I will be sharing all the files linked in the description for you completely free. And then that way you can go ahead and make whatever you want to make to put on this yourself. But also I'll think of like common regular things, or comment down below things you would like, and I'll try and make them and share those there as well. But so far, I've only made a couple of things for this video. My own use, I have added a controller mount for my Nintendo Switch, so now this can come off of my desk and can sit underneath on the side of my desk. And because right now it's 1:30 in the morning, I just added a little basket that can hang there to add whatever I want. USB drives, all that sort of stuff can now sit in there nice and tidy. But honestly, that might be the most practical print that I've designed myself since I started 3D printing. But let me know in the comments what you think. Catch you later.